Welcome everybody. I am Briana and this is Rebecca Gilmore. Thank you guys for tuning in today, and we thank you for your support in making this possible. Today we're going to be working a little bit of a yin practice that Rebecca is going to guide you through. So you're going to hear very little from me. I'll let us know when it's time to come in and out of postures, and I'll give us a few options as far as the bolsters and the different props that you may want to grab are concerned. Right now I've got a block, I've got a couple of different sizes of bolsters, but you can grab a rolled up blanket, a towel, anything you have at home works. You don't need to have any specific yoga supplies. Rebecca and I have been kind of collaborating and putting this special class together based off of an experience we had a few months ago. As we were getting ready to start a class via Zoom, Rebecca had her mic on and she was just practicing in the background. I immediately stopped what I was doing and listened. I think that I sent off a few text messages to a few people I knew that were going to be joining us and told them to log in and just sit back and listen. And we all just felt better. We all had a moment of going more inward, checking out from all of the busy, chaos that's around us. And it was really a nice way to just prepare for yoga. That's what we hope to bring to all of you guys today. We're going to be playing around a little bit with this idea of space. And yin, especially in yin, there is space built into posture. After we finish a pose, we come into what we sometimes refer to as rebound. And it is just that. It's a space to rebound in, for us to allow for the body to reset, to allow for our minds, our thoughts to kind of become a little bit more centered and grounded or present. And today, music offers space, what we refer to as the rests. There's lots of different sayings about the music happening in the rests. When Rebecca stops playing, we get to just be present in that space. And there's no wrong way to practice being present. We hope everybody enjoys today's practice. You can find out more information on our website or at RebeccaGilmore.com. If you have any questions, feel free to send us a message. We're going to get started with what we call an open heart or assisted backward bend. The bigger the bolster, the bigger the heart opener or the bigger that backward bend. So feel free to adjust accordingly. If you'd like a little bit more support, you can keep your knees bent. Take a moment, go ahead, recline back. Once we find that reclined position, Rebecca's going to guide us with a little bit of sound into some breath work before we begin our practice. Making sure you feel grounded. Take out any of the wiggles, change anything that needs to be changed. And we'll go ahead and start with the breath here. Nice deep inhale. Long exhale when you're ready. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale when you're ready. We'll begin our practice now. Bring a little awareness back to your breath. Maybe wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. You can keep your eyes closed. And then gently roll onto your side. You can use one of those props. You can use your arm to help support the weight of the head, maybe bending the knees, drawing them a little closer to the body. Pause here for a moment. Again, listening to the breath, becoming aware of the space that accompanies it, the sounds around you or the lack thereof. If the mind tends to wander off, listening to the sound of the breath, or maybe some of the music that still lingers in our minds. Coming onto your back. Take a moment and extend out. You can bring the legs towards the end of the mat, arms out to your side. Again, if it feels better to keep your knees bent, keep your knees bent. Again, pausing for just a moment as we reset the physical alignment, allowing blood flow back into the joints that were compressed. But also taking a moment to just be present in some of the quiet part of our practice. When you're ready and there's no rush, we're moving into our reclined spinal twist next. With knees bent, we'll shift the hips a little bit over to the left so that the knees can fall over to the right. Now, if you have any of those props that you'd like to use, you can bring one of your bolsters or blankets in line with the spine. You can bring a bolster or a blanket between the thighs or underneath that right thigh. Again, take a moment, make sure that you've adjusted the body so that we aren't feeling the body distract us. Once we've made those adjustments, close the eyes, opening up the ears, and we'll find that space to practice the posture in.
Again, bring a little bit of awareness back to the breath. Keeping the eyes closed, maybe wiggle the fingers, the toes. And then you can remove whatever props you were using as we come into that space for rebound. Shifting the hips back underneath the spine, arms again out to our side, or in any other shape that feels natural or intuitive. You can keep knees bent or extend the legs out long. Often we feel a little uncomfortable sometimes in silence. We like the aspect of doing, of being busy. A lot can fill the space without us having to direct it or to try too hard. It's a place that we can become more aware of what's already there, or maybe even increase the awareness to things that we weren't aware of to begin with. And finding a little bit of movement, you can rock the hips, shift a little bit from side to side. So we bend the knees. We'll prepare to find that spinal twist on the opposite side. So sending the knees off to the left as we adjust the hips a little bit to the right. Again, we've got lots of different options as far as our props are concerned. So take a moment, experiment a little bit. Find a place where there is support, where we can limit some of the external distraction. And then close the eyes. Start to soften the body. And just become more aware, more present in the sound that's around us.
Again, acknowledge the breath. The mat, the floor that supports the body. Slowly we'll unwind the spine, realign the shoulders, the hips, finding that space to rebound in without the need to control, to direct, and without expectation of what we may find in that space. You may feel you need a little longer for the spine to readjust or let go of the previous posture. Take the time that you need as the body starts to feel a little bit more familiar, a little bit more like its natural self. We'll start to invite a little bit of movement into the fingers, the toes. You can rock again the hips a little bit from side to side or front to back. With knees bent, draw the thighs closer to the chest. Grab hold of the legs any way that feels comfortable or natural, and increase some of the movement, almost as if you were massaging your spine. You can either roll onto your side to bring yourself back upright. You can bring the hands underneath the outer edges of the hips, palms down. Extending the legs upward, inhale, look forward, lift the gaze. As you exhale, push into your hands and lift the body all the way back upright. Moving into bound angle. We'll bring the soles of the feet together. If you're a little tighter along the back or the hips, it may feel better to sit on a blanket, a bolster, or a block. If you're feeling any kind of tension in the knees, in the hips, or in the back, using any of those props that we mentioned before, maybe underneath the thighs, you can even bring a larger prop, a bolster, a blanket, into the lap. We've got a couple of different options. You can stay more upright if this feels better on the spine, the other joints, or you can take this as more of a folding position, bringing the forehead down towards the floor, your feet, or that prop underneath you. And take a few moments, make your adjustments. And then when you're ready, start to relax, soften the shoulders, the jaw, as we open the ears. Before we lift the head or before we exit the posture, take a moment, acknowledge the inhalation, the exhalation. And then with the help of the hands and the arms, let's slowly begin to walk ourselves back upright. Pause for a moment. Stack the spine. Opening the eyes. We'll shift our props out to the side where they're within reach. Taking just a moment to extend the legs. Maybe find a little bit of movement there. Pedal out the feet. You can lean into the arms, lift the heart, lift the chest, lift the gaze. We'll transition from here after we've taken a moment to reset the body into pigeon or swan, as we refer to it in yin. There's lots of different variations of this posture. In yin, we want to find one that's passive, where we no longer have to work or engage the different muscle groups to hold the posture. We'll start with the right knee coming forward. You're more than welcome to take this on the back, or find, again, any other variation that works for you. Left leg nice and long back behind us. If you'd like to use some of the support that we've been incorporating, Feel free to bring a bolster underneath the chest. You can bolster the right leg, the left leg. Once you've found a space where you're able to soften, where you're able to relax, that's just what we'll do. As we become more aware of the breath, take a moment and notice what else is there. The sensation of the floor, the props you may be using, the texture, the sound around you. Sometimes we think of these things as just being attributes to music, to other things that maybe fill the space up. But when we take time to observe the lack of, we notice that there's texture, there's thoughts, there's emotion, there's feeling that may lay a little bit quieter, that may be a little bit softer and not as noticeable, until we just give it space. We'll use our arms, our hands to gently walk ourselves back up and out of the posture, coming into more of a front side Shavasana this time. So bringing the legs back behind you, arms any position that feels natural. Go ahead and bring the right cheek down on the mat for just a moment. Close the eyes, you can rock the hips, wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. And again, just observe the space that surrounds the body. Not trying to fill it with anything, not trying to direct. Bringing the chin to the mat. Go ahead and allow your left cheek to come down. Finding the same stretch on the opposite side of our neck. Again, remain relaxed. Shoulders, jaw, toes, fingers. Bringing the chin back to the mat. Use your arms, use your hands to help prepare you for the left side, pigeon or swan. It may look a little bit different. We'll take enough time to kind of organize, experiment a little bit until we find the flavor that we need. Once we're able to feel the support of the tools that we have available to us today. And opening up more of the auditory channel. Try to stay a little bit more focused on the things that we hear. Acknowledging any thought or feeling as it comes. And we'll begin. Again, acknowledge the space that accompanies the exit of the posture. Taking time to notice what we feel, name it, then try to move on, noticing what else is there, without expectation or, again, a need to force or direct. Use the arms, use the hands. Gently start to exit that posture. Once again, we're going to take rebound in conjunction with another posture. So we'll come down onto our bellies, placing one palm on top of the other hand, maybe opening the feet up a little bit. Heels can turn in or out, whatever feels most natural for you. Bringing the forehead down on the hands for support. Slow the breath down and just listen. Finding a little movement, feeling the presence of the mat underneath the hands. Use the arms to gently lift the body off the mat. We'll prepare for our last posture. Working Shavasana, or if you'd like to add a little bit more support, we sometimes refer to this as the Queen's Throne, or you can think of it as just a supported Shavasana. You're more than welcome to use whatever props again you have at home. One of my favorite setups is to just use a block, or again a rolled up blanket works just as well. And then place another prop, a pillow or something on top of that so that we have this little bit of incline. As we begin to relax, take just a moment, rock the hips, address anything that needs to be addressed. Music and yoga have a lot in common. Music is really about us tapping into what we feel. It helps us to find some of the emotion, to find ways to connect and to understand and to communicate. Yoga does the same. There's no wrong way to listen and enjoy music. There's no wrong way to be present in these postures. As we finish practice today, Rebecca's going to guide us through a little bit of deeper relaxation while we're here, either in our supported Shavasana variations or whatever other foundational posture you need to help you feel grounded, supported, and gives you space to relax and just be present in. Again, drawing more of that awareness inward without trying to force your practice. Try to remain present and aware of the experience. awareness back to the breath. And acknowledging any lingering thoughts, feelings, sensation. Go ahead, wiggle the fingers, the toes. As we complete practice today, you can use your arms, your hands to gently bring yourself back into an upright position, shifting any of those props that we were using off to the side, finding a comfortable seated position for your body, for your back, for your hips and your knees. Go ahead, pause here for a moment, close your eyes. As we began class today, we talked a little bit about the space that accompanies music, the space that we often look to enjoy in class or when we're on our mat. Space is really the framework that we use to highlight or to showcase things that are important to us, things that we find value in. Taking the time today to provide that space for us to just be present. Again, there's no wrong or right way to experience the practice. Just finding the time, making the space to pause and just be. Enjoy a nice deep inhale and exhale together. Thank you, everybody. Namaste.